I used to play Team Fortress 2 when I was younger, and then Overwatch 1 a little after that. But I was such a hot headed kid growing up that even though I loved these games, I hated them at the same time. And I know I'm not alone when I say a lot of us get in the habit of screaming, slamming the desk, berating teammates, and it just snowballs to be just a worse and worse experience, and then we're tilted, and it's just awful. And I myself had a habit of queuing over and over after a losing streak, just hoping that I'll finally get a win. But even when I did win, eventually it didn't really help. I was still angry, frustrated, and overall just empty by the time I closed the game. And I wish I had somebody to explain to me what was happening. And it's certainly easy enough to say that, I lost a 1v1, or I'm getting spawn camped, the game is BS, it's unfair, just overall unbalanced game mechanics and all that. But we never really got the time to take a look inward at what's going on in our mind when we rage, get tilted, and just struggle to enjoy a game that we love. And from my experience, there's a lot of broad strokes to cover when it comes to dealing with tilt and what it is, how it happens. But hopefully, I can leave you with just three things that can help show a different perspective on why you're getting tilted. And the first one is that you just don't understand the game enough. And most games with a competitive aspect have so much macro and micro fundamentals that you need to learn to be able to play at your peak. And tilting happens when you feel like you're not getting the right outcome from what you expected. And it's when you're stopped or thwarted by some unfair advantage, like getting one shot or flanked and ambushed, and your abilities or plays getting counteracted every single time you try them, or stuff like that are just examples of being thwarted in some way. And on the surface, they do seem like unfair things, but what it doesn't give you is context. Were you out of position? How much health did you have? Were you keeping track of your teammates? What about the enemy cooldowns? And what about the objective? Who's the most threatening opponent in the match? And what's our team composition compared to theirs? When you ignore the context of what stopped you or what thwarted you, the more likely you are to get tilted. So, how do you solve this? Well, you just have to study the game. Because all games are about problem solving, and that's what makes them fun. But when you don't know the rules of something you're playing, you're preemptively lowering your ceiling as a player and your patience in general. Because when you know what's stopping you, you know it's fixable. Your patience will strengthen the more you understand what you could be doing better. Because what we need to understand is that anger happens when we feel like we're helpless against something. And the best way to not feel helpless is to just learn and keep improving. But if you still find yourself getting tilted despite being mechanically or fundamentally good at a game, then your ego is probably controlling you when it should be the other way around. And what I mean by this is that sometimes when we lose a fight or we lose a match in just in general, we feel like we could be doing better, or we feel like we should have done better. And sometimes you just get outclassed. Losing is part of the game just as much as winning is. But remember that the reverse is also just as possible, because you can outclass your opponent in turn and win the game yourself. And the important thing here is that you should know that you're not going to have a perfect game in every game. No matter what rank or how gifted you are or what game it is, sometimes you're just going to lose. And I'd say there shouldn't be any pressure to be perfect to begin with. Just a healthy amount of confidence that it's possible to overcome the thing in front of you. But sometimes you're just gonna suck. It's just that simple. It might be even something out of your control, like lag or frame rate drops. But if that's the case, then just accept that you can't really do much about that, and you just shift your focus on something that you can change, like threat assessment comes into play here, and target priorities or objective risk and reward, but those can be for another video. But if that still doesn't change your disposition when losing, then maybe you're just not in the right mood. Maybe it's a lack of sleep, or you're already tilted before logging in. And if that's the case, then it's better you probably try something more relaxing, like a more relaxing approach to playing the game. Again, this is all in the perspective on how you see it, because sometimes when it gets too much, maybe it's better to just not play the game at all if it's not working out. And sometimes you need a break. You need to take a walk outside, decompress your emotions, and help talk to somebody you love and figure it out from there, because games are supposed to be fun. If you're not having fun, regardless of how much you love it, maybe it's better to put it down for now and do something else. There's no scientific evidence whatsoever that shows screaming at pixels on your monitor actually changes your mood or even the outcome of the game. Just isn't. This doesn't work. It isn't about erasing anger completely. Remember, your mindset shapes how you approach every game. And if you focus on learning from your mistakes, whether you win or lose, that's still like a big improvement. That's a big gain on your end too. And after all, games are just that. They're games, and when you recognize when you need to take a break or when you need to keep your ego in check, and you'll not only improve as a player, but also have a healthier relationship with gaming as a hobby. And, you should let them be a source of fun, growth, and connecting with other people, and not just a source of stress. So I hope you took something from this blabbering video, and if you agree or disagree or have another take on the topic, maybe you have another way of shifting your perspective, or maybe just another piece of advice you want to share with others, please do comment down below and maybe give the video a like and hit the subscribe button for more of these kinds of videos. So, thank you for watching. Have a good one.